Hello guys, DJ Bagpuss here, and welcome back to Examining England, and this is a match review of England's World Cup last 16 heavyweight encounter against Colombia. This is the big one, and this is where things get serious. We are no longer messing around, ladies and gentlemen. England have basically breezed past the group. Well, I mean breezed. We got through the group stages plain sailing, surprisingly. Doesn't normally happen for an England side. And now we are 4 games away, 4 wins away from winning the World Cup. Like, generally, this is quite serious, okay? And in this video, I'm going to be giving you my predictions, thoughts, general feelings to the game, and just give you my overall thoughts and feelings to England. It's been, I think, about 4 or 5 days. The last time we spoke about England was on Thursday, and I've done a couple of music things in between there. But we are solely back to football now, and I'm really looking forward to tonight's game. But I want to start this match preview by kind of giving further thoughts to England's last match when they played Belgium in the final group game of the World Cup, because, you know, I was, and apologies, there's building happening outside, so just kind of bear with me in terms of the sounds and the noises that you may hear in kind of the next 10 minutes or so. But, you know, in some moments when you do match reviews, and I absolutely love doing these match reviews because it's me doing something purely on an impulse. You know, I watch the game, and then as soon as that game concludes, I whack on my camera and then I start talking, and whatever I'm thinking or feeling at that stage is what comes out. And the beauty of doing match reviews, particularly just after the game has concluded, you know, what you say is purely on emotion. You know, whether I'm absolutely over the moon and buzzing that, you know, either England or Arsenal have won a game, or if I'm absolutely scathing because there's been a defeat or a controversial moment, it's all reacting, and it's a reactment style match review, despite the fact that I'm giving my thoughts and feelings and reviewing the game. You know, had I waited and held off to do the England-Belgium review on Friday rather than doing it on Thursday, what I would have said would have been entirely different. But having watched that back several times, firstly, I don't particularly think it's a particularly good match review, and I'm always the first to say when I don't believe that a video kind of hits the standards that I deem acceptable. And it was just purely because I was so frustrated, and I wish I could go back and revisit my match review, because there's a lot of stuff that I wish I had said in that video that I didn't. And I'm just going to put it into perspective now, because the reason why I was so annoyed and why I was so frustrated, and lucky that none of you guys, I mean, bless you, my fans are absolutely lovely no matter what I do, but the fact that nobody picked up on just how kind of unnecessary it was for me being so frustrated. The reason why I was so frustrated was simply because, you know, I've been waiting all day for England v Belgium, and it was such a heavyweight kind of clash, an encounter that was so massive, that was finally going to test to see where this England side and what they're capable of doing and answer all of those questions. It was the first real big test for Gareth Southgate in this, you know, quite incredible World Cup. And, you know, not only was it just a poor game to behold, like from minute 1 to minute 90, but the fact that both teams didn't really care, and both teams kind of wanted to lose and wanted to finish second, you know, really angered me. You know, I wanted, you know, more consistency, and I wanted 3 wins out of 3. Having said that, when you look at the teams that we could face, obviously we've got Colombia in the last 16. Should we beat Colombia, we will either have Switzerland or Sweden, and then a semi-final encounter of either Russia, Croatia, Denmark. Win all of those, and we're in the World Cup final. Now, we are going to have to play a big team at some point. I mean, what has been so amazing about this World Cup, there's been so many shocks and surprises, so many of the big boys. I mean, Argentina and Portugal out on the same day. You know, Belgium were at one stage yesterday 2-0 down. You know, it took them to the very last kick of the very last second of the very last game to get that 3rd goal and sail into the quarterfinals. Brazil actually looked to be the surprise package. You know, Uruguay through, they're playing France. So all of the kind of initial predictions, and most of the big teams are already out. Germany out in the group stages. So this feels like England's best chance to win a World Cup. And, you know, I don't think in my lifetime, certainly not in my dad's lifetime, are we ever going to see, you know, England win the World Cup again. But this could be our greatest chance. And, you know, we're not getting, you know, overboard, but, you know, we could easily beat Colombia, and we could easily beat the teams that I've just mentioned there. So, you know, actually finishing in second may have been a positive, and there may have been a reason why Gareth Southgate picked that lineup and picked a very kind of not experienced side, but said to them it doesn't really matter if you win, draw or lose this game. And I can understand why that has been. And, you know, on reflection, I wish I had said that in the video and I didn't, so I do apologise for that. I didn't really mention like some of the key players, like, you know, Loftus-Cheek had a really bad game. Rashford and Vardy didn't do particularly well. Welbeck, when he came on, even though I was really happy to see him on the field, didn't really create anything. But like what we're now going to see is the strongest lineup. You can't rest any players now. And Gareth Southgate won't. We've got all of the big guns back. So Kane, Sterling, Lingard, Henderson. Maguire at the back. You've got so many options, and it's going to be the full strength side that we saw against Tunisia in Panama. That is going to be started, I believe, anyway. And Colombia are a decent side. In the last World Cup, they got all of the way to the quarterfinals. They've got James Rodriguez, who is absolutely ridiculous. David Ospina, the Arsenal goalkeeper, in goal. I don't know if Jackson Martinez still plays. He's a really good striker. I don't know if he plays and he's still in the Colombia side, but he was a very good striker. I know that from my old, good old little FIFA days. But, this is the type of game that is very winnable. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a cagey game. But England have got the quality to just nick it. And we should just about nick it. The problem, again, is always, and I keep saying it, it's all about a psychological kind of up there. The psychological mindset that England have. I mean, 4 games. They are 4 games away from creating ultimate history. Win the round of 16, win the quarterfinal, win the semi-final, win the final, and they are World Cup champions. Now, I'm not saying that I don't think for any minute that I'm not saying that they will, but they very well could. They're one of the best teams left in this World Cup tournament, and everything so far has been played solely in England's favour. And sometimes when that happens, we see so many amazing stories, not just in this World Cup, tournament, but in football generally. You think of how stacked the odds, I use this as an example, you think of how stacked the odds were when Leicester won the Premier League title in 2016. They had so many things that, could have gone against them, but they had so many things that went for them. You think of all the form of the other big teams, and Leicester were the only side that had that consistency in that Premier League season, and that is why they became Premier League champions. So it's little things like that, and it's tiny little moments of luckiness and magic that can perplex you on to doing something absolutely extraordinary. And this would, if I saw England lift the World Cup in my lifetime, that would be absolutely staggering. 1966 was the last time England did that. We're at the best part of almost 5 decades on from that. The fact that we are 5 decades, 52 years, 70, 80, 90, 52 years. So it's been, almost, half a century, or over half a century since we last won the World Cup. So, this could be England's best chance, and it's very, very rare that you're not going to have Argentina, Portugal, Germany going into those later stages. I say Brazil, Uruguay and France. I said right at the start who I think is going to win the World Cup is France. And I think should we come up against France or Brazil, it's going to be very, very difficult. But if we can come up against, which we will, Colombia, Sweden, Russia potentially, we might only have the final as playing one of the big boys should we get past the round of 16 quarterfinal, semi-final. And there's no guarantee. I've seen England, you think of Euro 2016, England against Iceland, the most winnable of winnable games, and England messed it up. And it could very easily happen. You wouldn't have said, Japan going 2-0 up. Nobody would have known. You can't take anything for granted, but it does look good. And should England, get past these knockout stages, get into the final, over a sole individual basis of 90 minutes, anything can happen. So, it's very, very encouraging. I'm actually going to go today for a 2-1 win England. It's going to be tight, it's going to be close, it's going to be cagey. In the end, just slightly, ever so slightly, England will get 3 points. And then we will move into the quarterfinals, and then we will just keep dreaming. Why not? Why not dream? Why not, dare to dream, dare to believe is what I say. And, England could win this World Cup. There is nothing, there's nowhere, and there's no evidence pointing to suggest that England can't win this World Cup. Again, it's a psychological, mental kind of strength that these England sides have over recent years. But take that aside, the opponents that they are going to potentially face in the late stages, up against Colombia tonight, they've got a very, very good chance. I generally believe that. Why not? Why not? With all of the atrocities and heartbreak and how, dark England has been, in terms of its country for recent years, why not, have a little bit of light, breathing at the end of the tunnel? And I think England could do something quite extraordinary and quite magical in this quite extraordinary World Cup. But let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on Twitter. I'm going to put a vote out on my Twitter, as I love putting out cheeky votes and polls on my Twitter at DJBagpuss1998. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe, shout if I new around it, and check out my other great content as well. I'll rejoin you tonight for the match review, and hopefully I'm going to be sitting here come kind of 9 o'clock tonight and saying that England are into the quarterfinals. I'm now also going to go out and enjoy myself and then watch the game, and then I'll come back to you with my match review later on tonight. But until next time, this is DJ Bagpuss signing out. Take care, and I shall speak to you all later. Take care, and I'll see you all tonight. Peace out.